Hello gamers! Our favorite sandbox just got a massive new update, and it is not just fixing old bugs, it is packed with a ton of new content. Let's kick things off with the new campaign options. Besides the standard campaign, you can now customize the world with 5 total different scenarios. First up, United Empire. The name says it all. The faction is just called the Empire now. You pick which empire survives, and all the cities, states and villages from the other factions fall under its rule. Next is Last Stand. You choose faction that is left with just one settlement. You can play as them trying to survive and win back your lost lands, or you can play as another faction and finish them off for good, or just swap in, grab their lands and score a free city and castle. Then we have War of Two Factions. This set up a cold war between the last two factions left in Calradia, like the Empire versus the Crusade. Clans and territories are split evenly and logically between the two kingdoms, starting from their historical capitals. Next one is Invasion. One faction, like the Aserai Empire, starts as a massive superpower. They've already captured huge territories and forced many clans to submit. The rest of the factions are on the brink of total destruction. And the final scenario, Nord Invasion. The Nords get extra clans and territories, and they declare war on literally everyone else on the continent. It is classical Viking invasion, and at the first glance their armies are way stronger, mostly because their other factions don't team up against them and just keep fighting each other. Want to make things harder? You can now switch on some special modifications. The first one, and probably the most chill, is Fast Mod. The devs basically ported a popular Steam mod right into the base game. Now a month lasts just 5 or 6 days instead of 20. Years fly by 3 or 4 times faster, so you can actually live long enough to see your grandkids grow up. Next is the Bandit Invasion modifier. This turns the early game into a hardcore. It massively increases the size and number of land bandits. They will run into groups of 300 or 500 guys who can easily capture whole feudal army. I literally ran into a bandit boss with 54 guys right at the start of the campaign. But don't worry, this doesn't affect pirates yet, so the sea balance stays safe. Then there is a civil unrest. Cities can now rebel even if their loyalty is at 55. So Calradia can quickly turn into a messy land of rebel factions. Next mod, Recruit Shortage. Make it tough for both you and the AI to hire troops. Enemy lords will often have very small armies. Everyone will be scraping the bottom of the barrel in villages and towns, so you might find yourself with no army at all. But on the flip side, battles become smaller and way more intense, because every single soldier is worth their weight in gold. And finally, Fast Mod. The base page already bumped travel speed by 15%, and this modifier gives you an extra boost on top of that. And now the cherry on top. Starting roles. You can kick off your campaign as a king, a vassal, a mercenary, a merchant, or even a fleet admiral. You have to unlock most of these by doing specific things in normal playthrough. For example, to start as a king, you actually have to become a king in the main campaign first, but there are 2 roles available right from the start, the outlaw and the beggar. The beggar is, in my opinion, the most hardcore starting origin. You start as a looter. Your inventory, a rusty cutlass, some rags and exactly 0 dinars. You don't even have food. But there is a funny exploit here. If you tweak the campaign setting and choose sailor when creating your character, you get a personal ship. Boom, you're a beggar with a ship that you can sell for 2,700 dinars. You can use that cash to buy some clothes, horse, and you will even save some coins for beer and snacks. The outlaw origin is way more interesting, but also kinda weird. You start as the outlaw, but no faction will make war with you. You can visit villages, but towns won't let you in. You have to sneak in and make a contact with the local bandit, which I completely failed at. So I just gave up for now. But you start with the gang of over 10 bandits, some food, trade goods and a ship if you preset it. But you can't actually use the ship because you have to summon it into a port and you can't get into the port without sneaking through a town, and so on. Anyway, let me know in the comments if anyone actually managed to pull off stealth mission in Mount and Blade. And by the way, they completely revoked the sea too. The ocean is no longer just a separate minigame, it is now tightly woven into the land campaign. You can now sail ship right up to the castles. This lets you sneakily break a siege blockade or use a coastal castle as a safe spot to resupply and train your troops. You can also moor your ship in the ports of allied or neutral cities. If the city gets captured, you won't lose your ship forever. You'll just have to wait until you make peace or take the city back to access to them again. They also borrow a cool feature from a popular mod, the ferry system. It lets you to travel between specific villages. The best part, you can even use these ferries if the village is hostile and you are at war with them. Oh, and during naval boarding, they added a mechanic to cut the mooring ropes, though honestly is super hard to pull off in practice. And on the land, they pushed enemy spawn point to the edge of the map. But be careful, if you push the enemy too deep into their territory, their troops can still magically spawn right behind you. By the way, after both sea and land battles, battlefield locations now appear on the map. They come in 3 levels: minor skirmishing, standard battlefields and the aftermath of massive battles. Depending on your scouting and surgery skills, you can search these spots for supplies and money, or even rescue wounded soldiers to boost your army. And yes, this works after sea battles too. They also change the personality traits that aren't just cosmetic now. They actually affect your gameplay, usually giving you 2 bonuses and 1 drawback. For example, calculating plus 10% workshop income when governing a city, plus a bonus to building siege engines, but you get -3 relation when meeting a notable for the first time. Merciful, higher chance to take prisoners and faster population growth in settlement, but you get less money from ransom. Cautious, lower the chance of prisoners escaping, give bonuses to siege preparations and reduce damage taken by 10% in auto-resolve battles. Brave, plus 10% renown gained when leading a party. Cruel, more loot when raiding villages, but a higher chance of revolts. And speaking of revolts, you can now trigger a blood feud by executing a member of another clan. Enemy clan will actively hunt you and your companions. What's wild is that your own companions might execute enemy prisoners on their own, without your direct order, dragging you right into the feud. The AI can also start a feud against you if your relations drop below -50 and they capture your people. Let me know in the comments how often do you actually execute another lords. As for resolving the conflict, you can only end a blood feud by completely wiping out the clan or paying blood money. The price ranges from 5,000 to a massive 280,000 dinars, depending on how much blood has been spilled. Also, in the 1.5 beta, we are finally seeing the beginning of actual clan party management. For those who don't know, your companions got their own parties that actually lived their own lives. They'd joined random lords' armies, die in pointless skirmishes, raid villages, ruin your reputation and, worst of all, hand over your elite cataphracts to some random garrison. You had almost zero control over this. Well, the devs finally heard us. In the companion party interface, we finally can manage all these activities. We can ban joining other armies, This is the most important one. Before, your elite fighters could randomly join some clueless lord's army and die in their terrible campaign. Now you can forbid this and your party will just wait for your orders. Ban riding villages, a critical setting. Companions used to push deep into enemy territory, start a raid and get surrounded before they could retreat. Plus, raiding ruins your reputations with other factions. Next, you can ban transferring troops to garrisons, and plus, you can ban creating a naval fleet to save your own armies. Probably the best new feature, party settings are saved even if your companions get captured. Earlier, after freeing them, you had to manually rebuild their party, rehire troops, and fix everything from scratch. Now, the party slot stays with them, and soon as they freed, they automatically start recruiting and get back to work. This saves a ton of time and nerves. Plus, if the party is defeated, they keep their slots and rebuild themselves instead of disappearing forever. And finally, they tweaked some troops types. Sword Sisters, they got the new crossbows, and veterans now use the heavy crossbows. The Corsair leader now has a great wooden oval shield with high durability, which is critical for surviving arrow volleys. Crusade Guard, they got their elite noble bow. Denef champions, they received decent noble charges instead of regular war horses. Sea Raiders now get the new visualization and a new weapons. And finally, the best tactic F1 plus F4 is finally correctly work with archers. Try to make distance between them and enemies. So, Mount and Blade is definitely not abandoned, and that's awesome. It is also great to see mods that were invented a couple of years ago slowly making their way into the vanilla game. Sure, the game still has a bunch of issues, but they are actively being fixed. One way or another, in a couple of years and maybe a few DLCs later, we might actually be able to enjoy the vanilla game. But for now, I think I'll go to start yet another endless campaign in Banerlord mods. That's it for today. Press like, write a comment and subscribe to the channel.